I think it's a pretty safe bet that the further from the release we get for The Last of Us Part 2, the more of a positive spin they're going to try to put on sales for the game itself, especially with the release of Ghost of Tsushima on the horizon in the very near future. Hello, this is Mara Jade, and I'm here with another video. And like I said, positive spin, as much of a positive spin as they can put on this game, and here it is. The Last of Us Part 2 holds firm as Iron Man VR debuts at number 2 UK charts. Okay, to be fair, it held firm, especially compared to a Marvel game. However, here's where the positive spin comes in. There are two Sony games at the summit of the UK charts this week, with Marvel's Iron Man VR debuting at number 2. The title performed well in its first week, but couldn't do enough to end the dominance of Sony's other recent big hit, The Last of Us Part 2. The action horror game retains its number 1 position despite, here's the positive spin, despite a 53% drop in sales week on week. So post its release, post the record-breaking sales in the first 3 days, it dropped 80%, and now it has dropped another 53%. To be fair, like I said, it's still retaining the number 1 spots, but you have Ghost of Tsushima coming out. That is pretty highly anticipated. Not necessarily saying it's going to dethrone The Last of Us Part 2, because The Last of Us Part 2 had the buildup of 7 years of anticipation for this sequel to a beloved game, but that's not to take away from the anticipation for the Ghost of Tsushima. Moving on. Iron Man was the only new boxed release in the charts this week, although the continued stock clearance of classic 3DS games continues to have an impact. Bravely Second End Layer is still in the top 5 at number 4 and has now sold more in 2 weeks than in the previous 4 years. Meanwhile, Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer has returned at number 13, and Chibi Robo Ziplash is back at number 34. Okay, the continued stock fluctuations around the Nintendo Switch and its games means that Animal Crossing New Horizons jumps 116%. So basically, Last of Us Part 2 fell roughly the equivalent in percentage, and Animal Crossing New Horizons jumped in that percentage. Kinda go figure. In sales week on week, and is now at number 3. However, Ring Fit Adventure is down 41% and is at number 10. Last week's new game, SpongeBob SquarePants Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, drops out of the top 10 and is at number 12. I don't know what that EN is supposed to be, with sales down 62% over its debut. So here is the charts. Like I said, to be fair, The Last of Us Part 2 is holding out at number 1. However, you have Ghost of Tsushima, that I've previously mentioned, another anticipated game for this year, and as well as down the road, in November, fingers crossed it's the last delay, Cyberpunk 2077. Now, keeping all this in mind, two things. One, it dropped to the number 4 spot in Japan. The Last of Us Part 2 is now at number 4 post its release. It sold, post-release, to drop to number 4, 25,993 units for the week. Only that. For the week. Dropped to number 4. And two, you have a petition started. Now, I have my picture kind of blocking the title. Sorry, unfortunately, because I have another picture down below to block the area roughly where I live so I don't dox myself. But at any rate, here is the petition. They want to remake the storyline for The Last of Us Part 2. And currently, as it stands right now, out of 75,000 they hope to get for this petition, they currently stand at 51,846. 2/3 of the people have signed this petition. Do I think this petition is going to go anywhere? No, I don't think so. They rarely do. Look at what happened with The Last Jedi. Once that movie was released, people were signing petitions left and right to decanonize it, and guess what? It's still canon. So, for this to go anywhere? No. I don't think it's going to go anywhere at all, to be quite frank. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, unfortunately. However, much like with Metacritic, when people were going in and purposely giving the game low scores to voice their outrage, that's the only outlet that they have. And here's one. They want to remake the story because, primarily, they are upset at the story and the fact that they killed off the favorite character, Joel, and that you play as Joel's killer, and you're supposed to connect with Abby. Even though you're told that Ellie would be the only playable character, but you're not even playing as Ellie you're only playing as her for half the game, at least. And they did that character very dirty, from what I'm hearing. Very, very dirty with how you compare her arc, Ellie's arc in the game, to Abby's characterization in the game. And here it is, basically. Do I think it's going to go anywhere? No, I don't. No, I don't, but at the same time, it's a way for them to voice their outrage, and I find that kind of ironic that in the span of 2 weeks, it has garnered over 50,000 signatures, and it's on its way to the max that it hopes to get at 75,000, but we'll see how it goes. But at any rate, let me know down in the comments what you think about this whole situation. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know down in the comments. Have you bought the game? Are you planning on buying the game? If you've bought the game, do you like it? Do you dislike it? Let me know that down in the comments below as well. So tune in until my next video and or live stream. I will be on Drunk 3PO's channel tonight, I believe around 8:30 p.m. But don't quote me on that because it all depends on when he sets up the stream. But that's where you'll find me this evening. I hope to do another live stream on my channel this week, probably Wednesday, but we'll see where that goes. And maybe a members only after party following that live stream. And possibly a live stream for only members this Friday evening. We'll see what time I have. So look for that. Look for any videos I have in the near future. So until then, this is Mara Jade, and I'll catch you on the dark side. Abby Smash.